A cold, scarred world. Apaeron is a world engulfed in flame and war, once a mighty industrial power, now reduced to a war zone. All around, the grounds are flooded by the great amounts of water that come from the world's oceans, pulled in place by the gravity of a few different moons all around it. The fields are all grown with red algae, yet now we focus on a small base. This base is built of neoconcrete, and it is all scorched. It was dropped from orbit, burnt concrete, just as burnt as all of the smoke that is coming from all around it. In the distance, the thundering of large caliber weapons booms. A dozen different types of servitors work effortlessly through the night and day to keep the water from flooding the base. We approach to a group of soldiers moving to be debriefed for a mission.
I'm walking scouted by two servitors alongside a floating servo skull, one of its eyes flickering. I walk through some corridors, my robes flicking, my mechadendrites slightly floating, gently dragging behind me. I'm stepping in hastily through corridors.
Keeping a brisk pace, walking clad in military green flak armaments with my backpack and two las guns attached on its sides. Adjusting my helmet, the band, feeling the sweat collecting in my hair. It's uncomfortable.
A long stairway goes ever downwards towards the safe bunkers, places that cannot be wiped out by a single artillery strike. The walls are of cold metal, and even the steel cannot hold back the ever-present water of that flooded world from seeping and just dropping little droplets, making those very silent noises all throughout the complex. A small room to the side.
Stepping down the staircase, looking if guards are posted down here, or if that's not even necessary this deep into our territory.
I start making my way down the staircase and reaching a large metallic door at the end of a corridor. I look to the servitor on my right, and with a crackly, compressed voice, I say, "You're dismissed. Go back to your station."
I step out of the way as the other guy passes to the door.
Without any further ado with the servitor, I look towards one of the guardsmen with the same metallic voice. "You, flesh unit, identify yourself."
I am Private Marcus. I am go right on ahead. The lieutenant is waiting.
I turn my head towards the door and wait for it to open so I can walk in, not addressing further the guardsman.
A tall man stands inside the room. The pneumatic sounds as he walks, his legs completely exchanged. He has left many parts of his body left behind in many battlefields. He turns quickly. "You should be Unit FL09.
Greetings. Affirmative. Here to fulfill the Omnissiah's will. I slightly bow with my head.
He nods and makes the sign of the cogs. Let us be quick. The opportunity window is closing.
I follow through the door behind him and give a salute. Specialist Abel, I've been called.
Step forward, Specialist. Take a seat.
One of the servitors pull a chair for me. As I said, my servo school is slightly flicking towards everyone in the room for a few seconds.
I will pass much of this information to your servo school so that you will be able to record it. We have spotted a very good opportunity for one such as yours skills. We will step forward with this plan and be very quick about it. There is a steel table before him. With a flat wave of his hands, it comes to life. Green lines form the terrain around where you sit, then it zooms out. This is Point Alpha 9. Point Alpha 9 has been designated as a point of interest, and then later, well, now I suppose, has been marked for a raid. We have spotted very stealthy orbital drops down upon that place, and we know not why.
Inquiry.
Continue.
Any sign of Heretec activity?
Our world is indeed filled with different levels of technology from the many different times that it has been settled. I have indeed checked the archives, but no, there are no recordings of it. But that is what I find strange. Each square inch of this world is drenched in bloody history. Why would that place be entirely silent in the archives? I'm sure you are thinking the same as I am, and as High Command is.
My bionic eye fickle. Please proceed.
A small span of 5 miles separates this base from that location. Your mission is simple: infiltration. You will be given the use of several different tools within our base to accomplish it. We will not promise exfiltration. I'm sure you understand the ramifications of that. Here, he puts a bulky piece of steel on the table, then turns it around, revealing a small port for a PDA. This will allow instant communication between us. We need to know what it is, and we need to know if it should be bombed from orbit. Preferably after you have left it, but I can make no promises.
Do we have no patrol units in that area, Commander?
The whole front is autonomous. We have servitors constantly in patrol, and we have air units above.
I approach the metallic slab with my dendrite, my manipulator. Slowly clamps it, brings closer to me. Assignment understood.
He gives you a nod. Fight for the Omnissiah. This is one of the worlds he has marked as full of knowledge. It shall be ours once more.
There's a series of binary beeps, and I say, if a job is worth doing, it is worth dying for.
I will serve for the Emperor.
His eyes will widen suddenly. Indeed. Serve the vision of the Omnissiah upon this realm.
Permission to leave and deploy requested.
All due haste.
I
Compliance. I stand up. I do the sign as well. I look at the servitor. You stay here. Fulfill further assignments.
It nods.
Flash unit able. I look at you.
Yes, engines here.
Let us make haste. And I instantly start walking, still with the metallic the port clasped in my mechadendrite. The door once again pieces.
Copy. Shouldering my backpack once more, doubling myself in size almost. Ugh.
The cold air of the outside world comes in once more.
I'm already connecting a cable that comes out of my neck into the device to start transferring the information.
It is a high-powered Voxcaster. It should be able to cast its signals even through solid stone for a mile or so.
It unplugs itself. Very well. Specialist, flash unit able. Your registry affirms capability to manipulate vehicles. Affirmative or not?
I scratch the back of my head. Well, I can drive them. Technically. Shifting a bit.
I make a different. Go back to start going up again the staircase. Then that shall suffice.
But I'm a good eye on the landscapes. I know my way around. I can tell the buildings apart and read the signs of where to go.
Very well. Then please focus cognitively and emotionally to fulfill this task.
Yes, engines here. I double check if I'm reading his profession correctly. Being born on a forge world of FL09.
The outside world is busy, and your bike is kept within a hangar. There are already servitors tending to it.
I point with a spindly hand with many metallic cables and wires coming out. That vehicle, flash unit.
Yes.
That shall be the one assigned for our mission. You go ahead and prepare all things needed.
Okay. I approach the vehicle and look over, yelling out at the server skulls to give me a readout.
Different small servo skulls approach. They have in the mouth of the skull a small green data pad. They provide very extensive diagrams of all the inner workings of the vehicle. And as much technical jargon as it is all green.
Good, holding the skull on the side, checking for all the green boxes, and nod to myself and push the server skull away and approach the vehicles. This is the what's it called? Veloxic bike.
It is clad in the same camouflage color of the world, blood red.
All right. The Veloxic bike is ready for send-off.
I approach the vehicle. I know that able. I look at one of the flying servo skulls and I speak in a series of beeps, asking if all the rituals and unguents have been applied already.
One of the cervical skulls approaches. It is the machine that it carries is a tiny automatic sprayer that is used to quicken the application of such unguents. It delivers a report to you, a little auto quill scribbling a scroll that is passed onto your hand automatically.
I grab it. I fold it twice. Praise be to the Omnissiah, and I let go.
Although there
Very
is
well.
no voice to shout prayers, the eye piece of the skull hums in the correct amplitude as if it were praying to the Omnissiah as well and praising it.
Flash unit able. Any other things must be done before departure?
I have my equipment ready for mobilization at a moment's notice. So, no sir, I am ready.
Then, please take position as I go to the side of the vehicle. My mechadendrite with the device gets in a bit closer to my chest, as does my servo skull, and I fasten myself.
I sit down on the bike's hard steel chassis where the leather used to be 100 years ago, worn through, and buckle in my legs with a thick metal, what's it called? Like a latch, clasping over so the pilot doesn't fall out of his seat, and rev on the engines.
As the engines rev, a servitor gets between you and the exit of the hangar. It slowly robotically raises its hands as the whirling of an enormous jet sounds across, and an enormous war machine takes flight. The servitor automatically lowers his hands and keeps moving forward.
Confirm readiness, FL09.
My head kind of flicks towards Abel. Please use your proper terminology. NGCer shall do. Flash unit able.
Like low my head, yes, engines here.
In my visor, there's a green grid and various little squares. Doing some readings on Abel. Looking at his armor, it shows an estimative of at least other 65 wearers before him. Shows efficiency probability minus 43%. Please, then, drive.
I put the pedal to the metal.
With a great roaring, the engine lights up and comes to life. Blessed by the unguent oils of the Omnissiah, it works tirelessly, propel the tires forward. The tires burn on the tough space-grade concrete that had been dropped there. And the smell of burning rubber meets your nose. The direction lies to the northwest. The flooded fields are cut in half by one long causeway of dirt. These large tendrils of red algae growing from its sides, hugging it, as if it were a great mighty beast from below trying to pull it down.
A straight line is the fastest route. My voice is booming a bit louder, trying to go over the many explosions and engines running.
We can drive off-road engines here, but flooded terrain will make it difficult. I advise the narrow roads, if possible.
There's a... Very well then.
I think back to the map that was shown to me of the location. Then look up from my helmet to recount the landscape in front of me, disregarding the red algae, and planning a fast route as I take a fork.
Both the map and the relative high ground allow the terrain to reveal itself. Approaching the contact line, there are endless servitors wading through the mud, their flesh long rotted away due to the humid conditions. They still hold the line. On the other side, several different silhouettes fly, also patrolling the same battle line. There are different possible paths that have all been marked within your map. Different possible ways that you could arrive at the base, all of which would of course end up intersecting the battle line, the front line. There is one bombed out industrial complex that could be used for cover. With luck, even a vehicle could pass through unseen. There's also the large deepening ravine that has been long flooded. And the last possible path would be just simply continue down the causeway, down the specific road. Although it gives much risk, as it is described on the map.
I grab at my chest my magnoculars, unhinging them from the magnetic plates and holding it up to my eyes as I drive with one hand, looking out what those flying silhouettes are that I spot in the distance.
Perception awareness plus 20.
Perception. That's a success by 2, I think.
Indeed. In the distance, these silhouettes seem robotic, much like the servitors that also patrol from the ground on your side. But looking through the magnoculars, their form reveals the true texture of these things. They are strangely organic, plates of chitin, enormous flying insects twice the size of a man, flying in packs of 7, with a leader bearing one long horn upwards.
Ancients here, confirming status of flying insects. Groups of 7, one with a long horn. Do you recognize that species?
Negative. I extend my hand to grab the magnifiers.
I reach it backwards towards his side seat, handing it off.
I grabbing it with only one hand. I adjust it so it goes both into my organic eye and my mechanical eye. I start analyzing the mechanical parts to gather any other info.
It is easy to spot them. They come out in patrols. Do roll a Forbidden Lore Xenos plus 20. Intelligence Forbidden Lore Xeno plus 20.
Intelligence. I pass. Actually, no.
These are
I
these are Vespids, a mercenary race. They are known throughout the galaxy to be employed by those who wish to master a battlefield.
I relay the information. The rebels are using Xenos force.
Versus
No
Xeno.
conclusive evidence. We should take cover through the abandoned factory.
Agreed. The industrial fields will give us good cover from enemies deploying the heights. I correct my course and take a hard shift, turning the Veloxic bike as maximum velocity.
Operate surface plus 10.
Agility?
Yes.
I think that plus 10 is a bonus.
Plus 10 is a bonus, correct.
A failure. It starts shaking underneath me as the Veloxic bike starts jittering out of control as I brush against a concrete wall trying to catch the curve without losing speed. Sparks flying.
A small piece of hot metal detaches from the side of the bike. In that very moment, there is a shrill sound, very low frequency, paining the ears as I need to roll. Overhead flies a entire pack of these indeed chitinous, wasp-like beings with 2 arms and 2 legs. They carry these large organic weapons in their hands. They fly overhead, looking from side to side, and they spread out. The 7 spread out, trying to clear the sector, although they have not yet spotted you.
The whole time I'm holding with both my hands into this speeder. In another voice, the vehicle is almost non-operational. Stop it. As I'm tumbling.
I look for the big shades of the buildings to stop the vehicle inside, approaching what appears to be a dead end as the engine goes low and lower.
Inside a bombed-out, hollowed factory, tons of different wires jut out, broken by many explosions, as if they were guts hanging out of a corpse picked by scavengers. You still hear the buzzing sound of their wings around, but they are sweeping from above.
I'm leaving the seat, standing up. My servo skull is rotating on a 360 on top of my head. Flash unit able, please dismount.
Yes, engines here. The clamps fishing off, springing to the side, releasing my legs. I get up and equip my long last, incredibly long last gun with a reinforced barrel at the front to give it extra stability. Holding it in both hands.
My servo skull starts floating around, scanning the motorbike, the speed bike, and I say, "Sorry, machine, you shall rest here, in order to save a higher production order." We should proceed on foot in order to avoid being sighted.
Copy, engines here. As I start stomping towards our target, looking for the terrain to hold tight angles to give less of a bird to be spotted from above, mostly.
I'm following behind.
The small bombed-out factory stood upon a slight higher than in the elevation. Straight down, before you lies a cliff that goes down to the flooded fields once more. Those dreaded red algae reaching out, moving, small little tentacles.
Engines here. We could walk through the flooded areas. The Vespid will be less likely to patrol through there.
I stand in silence for 3 seconds. Then we shall take this risk. Flash unit able. Cut down the vines. Assemble makeshift camouflage for you.
I pull out the excuse of a combat knife I have and start cutting. See if the material gives of the tentacles.
The vines are strangely fleshy. As they are severed, an orange viscous substance oozes from it, and quickly the vines wither down, but still retain their color and texture.
I am pulling my mechadendrites inside my robe, so they're mostly red to be seen. In case of rejection or feelings of in case of any feelings of if you feel any sort of discomfort to the vines, please suppress your own natural instincts, flesh unit.
Okay, I guess. Confused. Cutting away at the vines for a good 3 to 4 minutes, amassing a nice mound.
I keep watch on the skies during this time.
Roll awareness plus 30. Awareness perception plus 30.
Awareness. Oh, yeah. My natural eye alongside my mechanical eye, as long as the servo skull, we see what can in this world is going to be described as a clear sky. The flying units are far away.
There is no cover in the sky, indeed. The loud buzzing precedes any movement as well, and it begins to grow and grow as the sector is swept above by this large Vespid unit. It flies but 20 meters above, looking from side to side. It does not spot. It flies past, then circles back and returns. It actually lands on the cliff just above. It has this large chitinous mouth with teeth and glowing yellow eyes in various small segments. Its mouth parts moved as it looks down from over the cliff.
Unit able, remain unmovable.
I phrase, reaching for my gun.
Stealth plus 20. Agility, stealth plus 20.
Failure.
Its little chitinous mouth parts suddenly stop. Its eyes turn. Tons of little small yellow eye segments, all confounding to this small stirring of water. It gets down on its two back legs and climbs down the pit. Its strong chitinous feet plunging themselves into stone, and small little pebbles fly down and fall on the water around you. It starts approaching, and it will surely find both of you.
In one motion, I flit towards it with my hand cannon in hand, and now my voice amplified by my speakers. Your filthy Xenos shall not corrupt anymore this sacred factory. And I pull the trigger on the hand cannon. There's a large boom. Plus agility, correct?
It's just ballistic skill.
Yeah. It hits for 5. Penetration 2.
A glancing shot. The face plate of this creature is angled forwards. Its filthy Xenos evolution giving it the perfect defense for such forward blows. As such, its very forward-esque head deflects most of the bullet that explodes in its kite. It blows a small chunk of its faceplate off, and you can see strange purple gooey muscles moving inside, entirely Xenos, but it does very little to damage its interior parts. Without emotion, these mouth parts begin to move, and it prepares to fire back. Its two front arms carry a strange worm-esque entity, and as the worm is squeezed, it spews forth this large bile. And the sudden shot and the fact that its footing is unstable causes the bile to spray wide. It falls behind both of you, the acid of it bubbling up in the water and wilting away many red vines of the algae.
I grabbed a hotshot las gun from my holster and pull it out. and shoot at it. Blasting 3 shots past him into the cliffside itself.
The stone melt and oozes down. The beam keeps moving forward. Its stilt-esque legs bouncing on the stone. It also lets out a shrill noise with its wings. They beat to emit a high-frequency sound. The beast keeps approaching, and it charges forward. Larger than a man, it attempts to... as it does, one of its legs hits the part of the stone where you have melted, Abel, and its leg fuses with it. And as it takes its next step, it severs off one segment of its legs, and as it begins tumbling down, its wings, as it basically falls down on the water, a loud splash of water shooting everywhere.
From the previous shot, I hold on a 90-degree angle my hand cannon as my dendrites start mending to it. I point again to the creature, and once again,
plus 30 to hit as it is right next to you on the floor.
A loud bang. It makes contact for 9 damage with penetration of 2.
Indeed, its thorax is writhing on the water. The shot indeed blows a hole into its thorax, and it is only muted from its shrill screams of pain by the water.
Take another shot. This time having some time to aim first. Blasting away as the salvo goes out.
Plus 30.
2 hits. Meaning it's 2 hits, so 1, 2, 14 plus 22 damage of energy.
The first hit severs off a chunk of its thorax and one of its wings, and the second hit bisects it. Its strange purplish goo melts down on the water and coats the whole water around. Suddenly, more sound of approaching vespids begin booming through the air.
You have to move now.
Indeed, I start going through the water. That is about waist deep. I'm holding my autocannon up as mechadendrites are reloading it for me.
I grabbed a combat knife off the floor, attaching it back into my belt, and the algae, throwing it over my shoulders and backpack. Not worried about if it sticks or not. Hoping the tangled mess is enough. Chasing after the entrance here.
The water up to your knee, delaying some of the movements. Soon, the vespids approach the side of the battle, and 3 of them land all around their fallen brethren. One grabs half of it and flies off. The other 2 begin spreading across the fields of red algae. The sound of algae bending as these large stilt-esque legs hit the water spreads all around. Until the sheer area that they need to cover prevents them from closing in exactly where both of you are running from. Soon you are clear from that zone, still entirely surrounded by knee-deep water and red algae vines that seem to grasp out.
I fire a shot towards their general direction, still trying to basically suppress them in a way. The shot goes way overhead in their general direction.
One of them takes flight, flying after the crack of the sound. They begin circling, but their search is not fruitful.
I exchange my hotshot lasgun with my longer barrel version. We have lost some engines here. But what are they protecting out here?
That is what we must discover. As I'm dragging my robe there, visibly dirty. Some vines are sticking to it. I'm still holding my autocannon to my head height. Let us haste as much as possible.
I navigate us through the area, taking the patrol patterns of the best pits, and I assume where the patrols are densest, what we seek must be located. Don't you agree? Looking over my shoulder.
That would be a correct assumption, Flesh Unit Able.
2 other squads of 7 in a V format rush towards where you made contact and slayed one of them. Surely reinforcements. Behind them, you start spotting this enormous spire upwards. Soon as a small dent is crested, this enormous spire is revealed to be where they are operating from. It is a tower of packed mud, reinforced by steel. Yet below lies the base. They have a strange, somewhat makeshift spaceport, a small structure of concrete that juts out 5 meters off the waterline. The scorched concrete, mixed in with water and mud, bears the marks of recent orbital landings, fire and brimstone. Yet, besides the Vespid Tower, there lays no other structure.
What is this tower? This looks not man-made.
It is an abhorrent Xenos tech. I'm afraid we will have to mingle with it in order to fulfill our agenda.
Use my binoculars, looking for a passable entrance for wingless creatures such as I.
Awareness plus 20. Awareness perception plus 9.
Success.
There, from behind, a small curving ramp curves around the back of the tower, reaching up to it. And from it comes a dirty, wary road that shows a sign of more conventional vehicles.
The road from the backside will allow us entrance engines here, but it looks exposed.
Its stealth stopped being an option from about 10.5 seconds, 10.5 minutes ago. We must make do with what we have.
Copy.
Ready your holy armaments, flesh unit. I start strutting towards the direction of the spire.
What is your assessments of their armor capabilities from the shots they've taken?
We are extremely exposed to damage, especially organic damage. I look at you. You should not expect returning.
I nod.
Make use well. Respect your armament, soldier.
Approaching the road as at a fast pace, keeping my eyes open for Westbits that could spot us, planning to take the time to aim and shoot them out before they come too close to spot us, and even worse, warn a patrol.
From the side, in a ditch, you hear a human voice. Hey! Who the fuck are you? A man is squat over, doing his biological necessities by the side of the road. His face is wary and rugged, very bloated from accumulating water, surely from the many battles he has been in. He carries the same strange biological weapon that the Vespids used. Who the fuck are you? He says, his voice a mix of fear and anger.
I point my cannon at him, the will of the Omnissiah, and I shoot towards him.
Plus 20 to hit.
Plus 20. The shot hits the ground to the right of him. Dirt flies up alongside some mud, the red vines.
Holy shit! He falls down ass first on the water and raises only his head and hands raise out of the water. Wait, man, wait!
Point my gun at him, approaching closer, and immediately kicking his gun away deeper into the flooded, almost hidden under the flooding of the floor. Who are you? What do you do here?
I'm Marcus. I'm just. I'm with the army. I'm with the rebels. Okay. I guess you guys are from the other side.
If you
Elaborate, rebel.
Your cooperation shall reduce your pain levels.
Okay. I will speak. Okay. What do you want to know?
Explain the drop pods and many orbital transactions happening here.
Fuck, I don't know, my commander. What I know is just from around the area, right? I don't know it specifically, but from what we saw, it was like this big industrial cutter, man. They found something deep below, and they had to drop this enormous thing, and they also dropped those weird fucking beast things to protect it.
My service school is like scanning him, like his face, and it's giving me a psychological reading on him to see if I can determine if he's lying or how much he's lying.
he is scared for his life. And the reading also comes out with 7 different local parasites that he has.
Guardsman Abe, you may terminate the individual.
No, wait!
The rebellion will not be tolerated. You have 5 seconds to pray for forgiveness to the Omnisire. 5,
Emperor, protect
4,
me.
3,
Please. No.
2.
Okay, I'll do anything. I'll show you. His head melts off. First the flesh, then the very calcium of the bones cooks off, and he sinks down to the water to never return.
I turn to the Engineer. May he serve in death.
This one is no longer capable of serving. Both his body and mind have been corrupted to no return. I point to what looks like a worm with like four teeth. Parasites. Yeah. Anyhow, my readings affirm that he was indeed telling what he considered to be truth. We are looking for large machinery.
Copy.
A Vespid patrol flies overhead, heading out towards the booming front lines.
Time to act fast.
We should proceed to the main base. I believe this spire has no longer any use for us. They are but a point for the Vespids to regroup and assemble. We shall strike at the heart.
Understood. I will lead us the best I'm able. Change directions to the main base.
I give a wide girth around the dead man.
Between where you stand and the final direction is a more conventional defense form, a trench. Many of the same men dig it, and more to the point, they fight fiercely against the ever-encroaching water. The different tides of the planet raising it up and down, their trenches utterly covered with water, and different scavenging animals pick from the remains of their food. These small, 6-legged rat-esque beings with the long, whippy legs, whippy tails. Ahead of the Vespid watchtower lies the actual direction of where you need to be. There is a more standard line of defense in your way. In the distance, you can see snaking through the marshes a snake of a trench. Dozens of men, much like him, rebels to this world, with shovels. They shovel and try to widen the trench. They form banks to prevent the water from coming, but it is a constant war against the water itself as it continues entering their trenches. They have small little pillbox bunkers made of steel, and around the perimeter of the trench, small little 6-legged rats jump from corner to corner, feeding up on the leftovers of both bodies and food alike.
Ancients here, I do not have enough firepower to take them all.
Both of us do not possess it. Oh, wait a second. I pull the Vlogcaster. I plug it. This is Engineer FL09 requesting divergent strike in order to open a breach.
You come in loud and clear. Your coordinates on the grid have been assigned. Point the laser pointer on the location where you wish for an airdrop.
Understood. From the device itself, I pull a little cable and I point towards the main section of the trench, and I click it. There's a...
While he's doing that, I pulled out the bipod of my long lass and lay down on the ground, zooming through the scope of my gun to get them in my visors, waiting for the disruption to start.
Inbound for Terran minutes, 7 Martian minutes. There will be a airdrop of Astra Militarum troops. Drop troops.
Blessed be the machine god. Night. Unplug the vodcaster. You have heard the servitor. I say to Abe.
Copy. Will they be able to reach the ground?
They will be able to make a distraction, soldier.
I sigh.
We should start approaching in order to maximize distance efficiency.
Not long after, the sound of an approaching whirring engine booms from behind. These two enormous gunships flying in parallel with one another, with literal swarms of Vespids around them. These insectoid beings crawling all around the fuselage of these flying machines, and men on small turrets fighting for their lives, shooting down these swarms of Vespids. As one of these men on the turrets gets grabbed by one of their stingers and pulled out, thrown to the air. Soon as they arrive at the correct height, enormous shutters open from below. Men gun down the Vespids approaching, and they begin jumping off. As these soldiers, not wearing the same armor as Abel, jump off, the small wings of metal deploy out, and anti-grav engines slow their descent as they shoot the trenches below, and all of the trenches' machine guns turn towards them. These long lines of tracers flying off.
I expect you to have kept your cardiovascular routines in check, Soldier Abel. I start running.
Can't embarrass the commander. As I pick myself off the floor, doing a burpee and run after him.
In the chaos of the fighting, just a few, let's say 5 meters off from the trench, one of the men that were shooting up at the drop troops turns his head towards you two sprinting. There are 2 others like him behind. They're equipped with las guns, and he hurriedly turns the gun towards him.
I signal the man, my, what is it called? My platoon unit 244 with my hands.
Fuck, okay. Keep going, we've got to clear this trench. There's more of them coming from up above. Are you here to help?
We're here on a mission. Give us cover.
As much as I can, sir.
I am soon behind Abel, a bit slower. I don't even acknowledge the guardsmen there. They keep on running. Flash unit, Abel. We are about 35 meters away from one of the main entrances.
Copy. Sprinting towards it. Switch back out to my hotshot. Approaching the door, looking at its density. I stop blasting while running towards it.
A nuclear warfare grade bunker entrance with enormous doors of steel that would take weeks to cut through. Yet these doors give way on themselves as reinforcements pour out to try and take back the trenches. A truck with at least 20 men all together on the back drives past, but then as one car with 4 men follows after the truck, one of the rebels on the back points towards both of you. There they are! And the driver takes a sharp turn, approaching both of you from 50 meters away.
Shoot the engine. I point towards the car, and how many meters away?
50 meters.
50.
I shoot my hand cannon at it for 11 damage, 2 penetration. I stop on my tracks when I'm running.
And you are aiming at what exactly?
The main bulk of the engine they're running on.
I follow his assignment to do the same, lowering on one knee, half aim with my hotshot last gun to penetrate into the engine block.
Plus 10 to hit for the size of the car. Yeah.
A miss.
The vehicle drives forward very quickly. Its wheels turn falsely on the mud, and the water begins hitting it. Then one shot rings through the front of the engine block and simply explodes on the exterior. The armor holds back quite a lot, but the engine block is indeed dented. The machine spirit of it begins to gurgle, and only the inertia carries forward. 3 men disembark. The driver tries desperately to keep the vehicle from going. And in that moment, the 3 men, 2 of them drop prone with auto guns. The last one charges forward with the last pistol and a knife. He shouts, "Down with the oppressive engine seers!" He charges forward towards Abel, but can't quite cover the distance as the car did not bring him close enough. And the
Find cover. I yell to all the troopers around us.
Auto fire cracks from all around, the bullets whizzing past, the water shooting up as near misses accumulate. Yet none of you are scathed.
I run from my position into one of the trenches, stand up with my lower torso covered, and take a salvo towards the running guy with his knife in his hand. I think that's an 8, so it's a hit. A single shot. Hold on. $13 damage, 7 penetration.
The light of the las hits him on the chest, and soon it goes through the chest, a hole left with his spine cracking and breaking, and there is not even a moment before he falls down dead.
I jump into the trench as well, and I sit down with my back against one of its walls, rolling all my macadendrites, as my service school does as well. And I start reloading my hand cannon with the many different mechanical arms. Hold the line. I yell like in a louder voice, still mechanical, to the other troopers.
The driver starts punching the steering wheel, but nothing goes. He pulls out a grenade, unpins it, throws it, and a wall of smoke covers him and the vehicle. The other two with auto guns charge forth, not wishing to give you the ability to establish the trench. The two run some more meters ahead, still far from the trench. Falling to a knee, they begin shooting. They will take aim shots. Goes wide above you, the whizzing of bullets as they hit the wooden structure above the trench. And once more.
I am still in the process of reloading the hand cannon. I request a few more seconds.
I'll hold as long as I can. Seeing the guys approaching through the smoke cloud, focusing them with a salvo. 3 shots whizzing through the air. With an aim. The shots miss. I think.
The last fire and the vehicle failing, they keep pushing forward. They run, separating from one another as they both land on opposite sides of the trench. They both turn their guns inwards. Both of you surrounded by the two of them on the length of the trench. You see the white of their eyes as they're tired from running and all the adrenaline.
My manipulator mechadendrite going to clasp the man's leg with tons of Newton force. The clunky mechadendrite clasps the air a little bit left to his left leg. Missing it.
Fuck.
I charge the other guy with the butt of my gun, trying to ram the metal piece to his chest plate and throw him off.
Plus 20 weapon skill.
Success. With 5 success. Hit.
He will instantly attempt to dodge. Fail. The butt of the rifle hits him in the chest, and as he was breathing, hit him right as he is inhaling. All of the air leaving his lung as he falls down to the floor, pointing his gun upwards. The man that FL09 has failed to hit will raise his gun point blank range. Two hits, 2 penetration, 4 on the leg, 2 penetration, 5 on the other leg, right leg and left leg.
On the engine seal?
On FL09.
I let out a binary squawk. The manipulator that was on his to the left of his leg now do a sweeping motion on his feet to try and drop him. Strength or
dodge. The weapons.
Okay.
Critical failure on the dodge as he tries to jump. The manipulator catches on his heel and you manage to catch him, not only drop him, and his weapon flies off to the side.
I start lifting him, keep him upside down.
Fuck! Abel, the man with his gun upwards will shoot. It has shaky hands and is unlikely to. One hit on the head. 7 damage to head.
Most of the blow absorbed by my helmet. I take a scratch. And I say, "You motherfucker!" Blasting, taking a half aim, blasting with a single shot to steady my grip on the gun. So, unless there's a bonus for him being on the floor, it's a miss.
It is a hit. It is a plus 20 bonus from, yeah.
Then it would hit, yes. One shot meaning 8 damage, 7 penetration.
It begins to melt his leg as it cooks, going through the armor, then literally melting until his leg is blackened and he begins to scream. He drops his gun, unable to keep firing.
The man's still head upside down. My servo skull is looking at him. As I turn my head towards Abel, that shot was wasteful. You should have ended him with your combat knife in order to save ammo.
Turn towards him and say, "No time for sass, we have to move on."
The manipulated armor lifts the man and smashes him on the ground.
He becomes a sack of broken bones.
And in one sweet open, clefts open.
His limbs are all bent towards the wrong directions and broken.
I start going my way to climb the trench. Let's make use of the chaos.
Most of the streaming reinforcements are going out to fight the Astra Militarum in the trenches. You will still take a stealth from both of you. Plus 30.
It's agility?
Yes, agility stealth.
Plus 20? Sorry.
Plus 30.
30. Okay, I pass. I walk a little bit curved, so to reduce my height. Servo skull and macadendrites very low to the ground.
Absolute failure as I stomp through the smoke clouds to get inside the base. Appearing on the other side of the smoke cloud, noticing 2 guys giving orders and looking my direction, stopping dead in my tracks.
Disoriented, the 2 turn towards you and point their guns. One of them carrying a las gun. The shot goes above, the sear of the las burning through the side of your helmet. The other hits, auto cannon, 2 hits, 1 on leg, 1 on torso. 6 damage to the leg, 8 damage to the torso.
The damage is fully absorbed by the armor and my own toughness. As I'm thrown back, almost stumbling back into the smoke cloud, I raise my weapon to shoot back.
The two were higher ranking. Instead of wearing armor, they wore officer caps. Fuck! They're already here! Get back! Get back! Try to hold the compound. They begin retreating.
I take a lucky shot before they turn the corner. A miss.
FL, they run past you, not having seen you.
I proceed forth. I was using the smoke of the smoke grenade. And I stop right in front of the engine that was tumbled over. And I approach it with my servitor, my big clasp, and I rip the hood off to the main engine. I shall release you of your corruption now, machine spirit. And I start meddling with it to make it blow up.
Tech use, intelligence tech use.
I can successfully trigger an explosion in a few rounds, a few seconds.
The car is rigged to blow. The combustion piston is ready to put so much pressure that it bursts.
I start making distance, but walking ahead, so I get closer to the compound.
The sudden burst of pressure as an explosion rings out, clearing some of the smoke. Fuck! It's hopeless! Get back! Get back! General rout begins with the men coming out of as reinforcements. The doors begin closing once more, and they hurriedly run through. One of them is even trampled to death as he screams, his own comrades running over him.
I gauge my distance to the door.
It is within 10 meters.
I fall towards one of the corpses, pilfering it for a grenade of some sort.
2 smoke grenades, 2 fragmentation grenades, 1 plasma.
Grabbing the fragmentation grenade and giving it my best baseball throw into the door. Pin out and giving it a good chuck.
Go ahead and roll. Ballistic skill, I believe.
Copy. Success with 3 hits.
As the doors are closing, a sudden gasp emerges from inside. Grenade! It explodes. And there are sounds of dying and screaming for a few more seconds before their souls settle down.
The explosion makes my ropes rush all the way backwards, and I even protect myself a bit from the air blast. I'm about 5 meters away from the main entrance.
I turn to FL9. The entrance is closed. As it shuts, obviously, with a loud bang.
There should be a port. As my monotonous voice in contrast with the hell loose around us with explosions and Vespids flying overhead.
The servo skull autonomously flies. Its green light beams as it scans and points a panel that can be easily pulled off.
Watch me as I follow with the procedures and rituals. I clasp my hands and go a little bit of a rocking state as I'm interfacing with the machine spirit of the door. Demanded it open.
I pay intense attention at his work, knowing not to disturb an engineer, letting out a litany of oiling the cogs, as it has been taught on my forge world.
I let another Bannerix cock as I fall on the ground. Madness has infiltrated the Holy Spirit, the Holy Machine. The door will not obey. We must find another way in.
Behind in the trenches, there is a small celebration by the men as they raise their weapons after having taken the trenches, until more Vespid reinforcements arrive from behind and they begin frantically fighting once more. Continue.
We might be able to blow our way through. I go back to a mound of corpses where I've spotted that one plasma grenade. See if it's still there. Shuffling.
It emits a dangerous blue glow.
I hold it reverently. Never had the pleasure before, Engineer. Do you think this finds application in our purpose?
Please administer controlled explosion, let free of the machine spirit of the door, for it is in much pain. As I'm walking a bit limp from my damaged leg, getting distance.
I approach the panel, looking if it will allow me access the bunker. The bunker is very thick. I'm not sure if the blast will last all the way through, Engineer, but I will give it a try.
Proceed. My voice louder.
I push into the plasma grenade, twisting off like a screw and pulling it out as I see its color starting to shift from a blue to an orange, and shove it inside the panel and throw myself as fast as I can behind the trench.
A low hum begins emanating, then a sudden burst. For a moment, the whole world is cast in darkness. So powerful is the light coming from it that it outshines the battlefield itself. You are able to see some of the heat venting off from the ventilation unit to the side as it literally shoots out burning hot plasma. And then the emanation stops, and you have it has melted straight through the circuitry of the door. It has not opened it, but a new man-sized path has opened through the circuitry itself.
I look back.
Protect your respiratory system as we proceed through the ventilation. Do not breathe in the plasma hot air.
Copy. I pull down my goggles from the helmet to protect my eyes from the fumes.
Lady Omnisaya, watch over us. I start carefully going into the hole, try to not touch as much circuitry as possible.
From inside the ventilation units, the more men can be seen. They are attempting to open the door, but it won't open anymore. We've lost engines 7 through 8, sir. Fuck. There is an entire army. Their commander says, we will make our stand here. Prepare the machine guns. And they prepare the machine guns along the massive entryway to the bunker. But they are none the wiser.
We must find a diversion. Approaching in will mean useless suicide. I look
around to see if the duct itself has opened up pathways amongst maintenance paths less protected. We can blend in. Our armaments are the same.
Indeed. There is a duct above this area where they are defending, and it splits ahead on a T-junction. Although it will make noise for such heavy men to crawl through the ventilation. A distraction is still needed.
We need a distraction, but the ducts shall serve us. Engines here.
A bit ducked down. It pains me what I'm about to do. I look at my servo skull. This is your final service to the Omnissiah, little one. And I send it to the main entrance to make it go into the main hall where the men are, commanding it to keep doing loops and dodge air maneuvers in the air, trying to distract them.
All their guns point towards it, and chaos erupts. One of the men even fires on it, but the muzzle of the gun hurts the head of his fellow compatriot. What the fuck is that? And the whole low light and chaos of the situation makes them not even know what it is.
I start walking, really not minding my steps.
I knock off the duct panels, pulling myself up through, reaching my arm down to help the engines here for our covert operation.
I extend my human hand to clasp yours, being helped around. The walls of the duct all covered in layers upon layers of wires of different thickness.
I see you're more modified than I thought. Pulling him up.
I help myself get up with my many mechadendrites. We still have about 5 seconds of sound to muffle our own. And I push you with my hand.
The main hall of the bunker is right after the entrance. It is an enormous bunker, so much so that mist covers the distant parts of it. And FL09, do give me an intelligence plus 10.
I barely. On my eye, my bionicle vision visor, unable to process it fully. A failure.
A strange bunker that does not make sense within the context of this war. Enormous wires come down from below, and a fusion core powerful enough to power a city burns and whirls, casting the whole bunker complex in shades of blue. Below, all of these wires coalesce.
This is unsanctioned procedures. I'm unable to recognize. This is beyond my hierarchy level.
Agreed. This is not standard Imperial bunker layouts.
I drop my knees on my knees, pull out the Vox caster, connect myself to it. Once again, FL09 reporting. Bunkers contain unsanctioned tech. A large reactor. My estimation is that if destroyed, it could level down, if not this whole section of the forged planet, at least half section of it.
Copied. Proceed, FL09. Discover the use of such great power.
Affirmative. I put it back. Put it was inside my robes.
Reloading my hotshot last gun during the Vox call.
We must delve into the guts of this abominable machine in order to further investigate it. I'm still standing almost ant-sized in front of this large reactor.
We follow the cable.
All hands go towards the front entrance to make a last stand. The halls are eerily quiet and empty.
My estimation is that we are not alone, Specialist Able.
Agreed. I hold
Be
out
ready
my...
to make your last stand.
Following the cables down towards the guts of this place, an enormous coalition of cables all goes down to a single small point. A tall, steel humanoid standing 4 meters tall, talking with the commander of the rebellion. The face of the man has been so many wanted posters outside. He points up to the steel being. Now listen here, you fucking freak. You're gonna use all of your resources right the fuck now to protect this bunker and to free it from these motherfucking cogmen, or I am going to blow you up. With a cold demeanor, the steel being looks down. I am unable to comply with your request. As I have said, I am waiting from orders. It speaks in an eerie voice, a natural, too slow and calculated.
I'm visibly shaking in silence. I beat that down.
FL09, what is this creature?
I am in silence, still shaking a bit. I cannot answer.
I use my binoculars to get a better to get a better clue of this metal man that is talking down to the other guy.
A sculptured face of steel and cold, icy eyes. A natural, not a servitor. It looks down, and as it waves its hands, it can fully control all of the operations within this place. It opens great halls, revealing tanks of an unknown pattern, ancient and powerful. Automated weapons, it seems, from an age long past.
I break the silence. There is no word in Gothic that describes the heresy my eyes are witnessing. We must destroy the unholy image of man at all costs.
Confirm what we see before I proceed with the battle. We will not get another chance. I pull out my long lance and start aiming. Clapping out clapping out the legs of the gun to help me stabilize.
I plug it to the Vocaster once again. FL09 reporting suicidal attack. Heresy of the highest order is spotted within bunker. I curse in binary. Artificial intelligence. And I unplug before there is any response. I stand up and I start shooting. I shoot at the hand cannon with the hand cannon, not taking time to aim. For the shot, connects for 12 damage, 2 penetration. I at the mechanical being.
It dents its arm plate, the pure, perfect steel, ablated and destroyed, only to then regrow back. It seems that it has some strange form of reactive armor. Its eyes turn towards FL09.
I take my shot, having taken the time to aim with the long lass as the beam of energy cracks through the air, which a success of 5, which is 6 damage, felling 4.
Roll more dice of damage. You used it has accurate. 2 more dice of damage.
Oh, okay. Which means 18 damage, felling of 4.
Not even the concentrated ablative armor of this being is able to stop such a hot form of las shooting at it. It had turned towards FL09, revealing a weakness on its neck. It begins to melt and give way, the veins of silver flowing down as if it were an amalgamation of blood, another mockery of humanity's form. It reveals circuitry behind it, and this great hit cuts through some of the circuitry, and this thing locks half of its body, unable to move it. But it is still enough to first grab the commander that was right in front of it. Assailants detected, initiating circuit mode self-preservation. It grabs the man and presses down to the point that it compresses his whole chest with nowhere else to go. His organs pull out from between the fingers, guts flying everywhere. There is not even time to scream.
I am running and ducking behind a large, a meter tall, wide wire tube, ducking behind it.
I aim and take a second shot. Another blast sending off, but missing.
Above, at the entrance of the bunker, there are sounds of fighting and the whirling of engines. Quick tanks on treads go upwards, going towards it, and the men protecting the bunker are all slaughtered. I have detected true life forms and have assessed you to be level Omega threat. If you are to drop your weapons and reduce yourselves to Charlie, I will show mercy, it says, and then raises one hand to command 2 servitors on tracks, abominable men of machine, with heavy machine guns on their arms, approaching Abel's position. Abel.
I am unable to comply, so I aim and take a third shot. 4 hits, meaning 3d10. For 16 energy damage, a felling of 4.
Once more, the pure silvery skin melts, revealing the ugly circuitry under it. It fuses and begins to look like a burnt doll, its own flesh melding with circuitry. Sustained damage to central processing unit. Hurry along on self-preservation protocols. The servitors both turn towards Abel, and they begin to let out a long, sustained fire of the heavy machine guns. 2 hits, 1 on left leg, 1 on torso. Penetration 5. 7 damage and 9 damage.
Torso is 9 damage. I stop bleeding. The shots penetrating, wounding me. Holding it together by sheer grit at this point. Ugh.
I go out of cover and I point towards the machine man once again, and I push the trigger as I'm basically chastising in a very loud voice, missing the shot. I'm yelling, "Be quiet, unholy machine! You shall not corrupt this holy place no longer."
Like a burnt doll, its hair a mess of melted wires connecting to its own flesh, steely flesh. It turns with slow movements towards you. You do not have authorization access to demand such things.
I curse under my breath, gauging the wound on his body, seeing it's not penetrating deep enough. I pick up my gun and run for cover, jumping behind the burst corner I see.
One servitor follows, but it is much slower than you are. The other turns towards FL09 and lets out a salvo. Goes wide. 50 cal fire riddling bullets on the concrete of the bunker.
I get illuminated by the shock of the round hitting the floor, the sparks, and I shoot once again towards the machine. The shot going far wide to the upper left, hitting steel and other type of machinery. My authority is that of the ominous sire.
I lean against the big cables leading past the hallways. Heavy breath. My left leg limping as I take a half aim and shoot at the servitor crossing the corner. A hit. Uh, 13 damage, penetration 1.
It melts through its head. It's only in the shape of humanity, yet as it melts down, it shows ugly circuitry underneath, and then it shuts down.
I yell out, "One down!"
Uh, I jump over this large coil that I was standing behind. It's still not fully aiming. I shoot once again towards the machine. The shot going far to the right this time.
What user ID is this Omnissiah? I have no recollection. Why do you fight, little ant? It says going off script at the end.
I will not tolerate any yabbering. You corrupt thing. And I'm standing up, all right, from jumping the coil.
I cannot believe I was made to serve such insolent beings. Worms in the mud. It takes matters into its own hands, detaching its upper body from the lower body as it just simply falls back down. The wires, one of them allows it to approach, and it approaches like an enormous snake towards FL09. It lets go of the visage of humanity, faceplates running out as a maw of gyrating steel stares directly at you and tries to hit you. It is a hit. Do you wish to dodge?
I try to jump to the left, being slowed down by my many augmentations.
I hobble forward, just cresting the corner, and
you are in time. You are in time to see this thing as its maw closes around FL09. You will go to the same place where the whispers come from. As the whole world turns black and its gyrating fangs of steel begin closing in. 14 damage, 0 pen to body.
In vain, mechadendrites expand, but are consumed almost like burning twigs in the moss. The beginning of a chant rhythm starts playing. Dun, dun, and slowly corrupts itself. Vodcasters being mangled. A muffled scream of man and machine from inside the mall. And silence. Red robes falling, dripping from the evil simulacra of a snake.
I aim for the head of the snake and take my shot, where I see the pulsating, almost of veins that I've exposed earlier. Please,
the hand of
Messiah.
The hand of fate guides you. Roll twice and take the highest.
Okay, 28. That's 1, 2.
Plus 10 to hit large target.
Okay, that's a hit with success of 6, meaning 3d10. Nine damage, felling 4, penetration 1.
Describe how you down this thing.
The bullet, the last gun, this long last cracking with energy, shooting out as spirits of the machines are battling in front of my eyes. I take my shot as it penetrates through the exposed veins, shooting inside its neck. the forceful exchange of heat, vapor, and air, blowing up a massive gash off its neck as cables and blood and liquid spray outward, keeping it attached by just half of it attached hanging.
The servitor turns with its heavy machine guns to enact vengeance, then shuts down as all the lights in this place are turned out, and it is cast to lightning. It is as if the whole world has ended, the entire bunker complex without any of its preying. Outside, sounds of battle continue. And we will end it there.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think?
Praise the Omnissiah!
Yeah. Praise the Omnissiah. I thought about doing that voice the whole time, but then I thought of logistically, like I will not, because I've done this mistake with you before of trying to talk like a ghoul for a whole session. I'm not gonna do it. I don't think I want to end recording yet because we're gonna talk about it.
Of course.
Sure. I was not accounting a thing here. I should have hit him at least once there, because my ballistic skill was 35, but I should have a 10, I think. Or should I not?
Yeah, I just in the end realized that you guys were not rolling
Because I
to
have
dodge.
weapon training. What does that mean? For solid
Weapon
projectile.
weapon training just means that you don't roll with a penalty.
Oh, okay. So I was not. I was not doing it.
Yeah, in the end, I realized that you guys weren't rolling for dodge, so I had to sneak in the little you roll for dodge.
I forgot about the dodge. Yeah, I forgot about it. But it doesn't make anyway. Anyhow.
Well, you mean like dodge? You don't dodge for bullets, do you?
You do.
You do.
Like hit the deck.
No, I just ate it all. Okay, it's what.
Yeah,
exactly.
you played your part as the Astra Militarum.
Yeah.
The system is hard to 4D. Like you need to say a lot of stuff, convey a lot of information.
It's also
Go ahead.
Well, it's geared towards violence, right? So it's a similar case like D&D. Like in D&D, it's more like a mistake. Oh yeah, it's all dungeon crawl, but we totally have exploration and all of that, which is a lie. In Warhammer 40K, it's literally the tagline: "There's only war."
There is only war.
Yeah. So I like that that part. A lot of ballistic skill rolling, which I'm personally fine with that for like a prolonged exchanged fight.
Mm-hmm.
But in our case, we had several different fight scenes happening in 2 hours, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like the pacing. Yeah, I think we had varied fight scenes. I think they were fun, and I was pretty immersed in them. I like the combat. Yeah, it is very combat heavy. I have to agree.
It was cinematic. I think it hit its cinematic spot. It's just that I was still like a bit very careful with the dice and the system because it's still very new to me.
Yeah.
But other than that, the mindscape was perfect in my opinion. Except for some moments, because I feel like very open expenses are hard to narrow down. I guess it's antithetical to narrow down what's going on. So is the a large bale or bayou? Bale or bayou?
Bayou, yeah.
Yeah. Is it
I think I didn't want to go with the cliche jungle planet. So I made the planet very interesting, right? There's the thing with the water always raising up and down. There's the red vines. But it also makes it harder, because it's a lot of open expanse. I mean, there's flying enemies. How can you describe?
Yeah, I was thinking of the logistics of it.
How do we approach it?
I guess there is a large scale war going on to the point where two red dots on a red world will be, hard to see, but it will be spot eventually. I was thinking. I don't know. I feel like closer spaces will produce more interesting things. So when we got like to the trenches, is more interesting because the scope is a little bit smaller, so it's easier to manage. You know, I can imagine like a fallen building here. I can imagine like this. So I think it flowed better when it got to these closer spaces. You know.
Yeah, I would have to agree. I did like it was a bit vague, but I did like the Vespid encounter. That Vespid guy rolled like 93, 95, and like 98
Okay.
or something like that. He's just fucking everything up.
Yeah. I liked.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. There's many things to like. I appreciated explaining what happens when I was rolling a failure. Like I failed my vehicles check, so I 4D the wall that I'm like scraping against because like, oh yeah, I'm just driving too fast. It's just like, yeah, do I need to drive too fast? Probably not. But we are on a mission, man. You know, like there's no brakes.
We
There
are
are no
on a
brakes
mission,
here.
exactly.
I do think that we hit the idea of the like 80s action flick pretty well, though, right?
Yeah.
Like I could visualize like the movie.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that whole part that we talked about. I was not going for it. I forgot about it. But we agreed on the 80s action. Yeah, I wasn't kind of ended up.
Right, I didn't think about that. I was like thinking, you know, what's cool Warhammer stuff? It's like the RBT's animation is like, oh yeah, that's so Warhammer. You know, everybody's precise and brutal. There's not much talking. We had this one encounter with the Guardsman, with the Vespid gun, right? Like, who the fuck are you? My only question was, drop your gun or you die. But you were already shooting at that point, so I didn't have my turn.
But it's a good characterization. I like that.
Yeah.
I like how FLO 9 was characterized. And like the banter with Abel was great fun in my opinion.
Man, there's so many moments where I just couldn't remember the word. I got so angry with that. There are two moments like, and even now I don't even remember what I want to say, but the word. What is the feeling of gross when I'm feeling? There's a name for that, but I forgot.
What, like,
it's difficult to roleplay a character that uses overly like technical terms.
Yeah, because you have to, you know. But I forgot the word for that. It's not noxious. There's another word for, you know, when you feel gross, like the name of your bodily reaction to that. And I couldn't remember.
Revulsion.
Yeah, repulsive.
Yeah,
I was trying to. Yeah, I couldn't, and I got so angry with myself.
Levels rising to 13.
Yeah. There was one time I fucked up. I think it was like right after you guys did the briefing. Abel said something. Zonlar said something, and I couldn't understand what he said, so I just moved the scene forward instead of like answering. That was a bit of an awkward
as well. Yeah, I didn't understand much as well, you know. So
what did I say?
There's a bike. I don't know what the fuck he said, so there's the bike.
I was like, you said, you explained like, oh yeah, there's a vehicle, and I'm like, what is the vehicle, Conway? But he wouldn't tell me, Nicholas. He wouldn't tell me what the vehicle was. So I said, I approached the bike because I have it written down on my character sheet. It must be my bike.
Yeah, I thought you would either 4D it or you would like say that it was your bike. Yeah.
I said for you because I remember that you bought the thing, character creation. Yes. So like, it's your scope, not mine.
Right, I wasn't sure if I know what the fuck it is or if I come up.
I imagine like a buggy, pretty much with 2 wheels, you know, like.
Yeah. I mean, the bike. I love it. That's like a big bike. First I thought, oh yeah, it's like a 2-seater. You sit in the back, but then you had like the pilot seat
on the side,
which I think is totally fine. That's cool.
Yeah, it's weird enough, you know. Like it's different enough not to be just a bike, you know.
Exactly.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah,
I love how LFLO 9 just didn't take a single step backwards in the face of abominable intelligence.
What do you mean?
You didn't retreat. You just kept going in. I described like the bullets like rippling off and not dealing much, but like nope, I'm going in. If it's worth doing, it's worth dying for. I love how you use that phrase as well.
It was my divination, so I tried to use that in, you know.
Perfect.
And that's why I said like going in for like a suicidal strike, you know, like basically if we don't survive, you bomb this place down. I mean, if nobody comes back.
Absolutely. Like even before that, for me it was clear like, Command needs to know what it is. You have to inform them now. As soon as we start fighting, there's no chance we will. Like, there's no guarantee we can go back to tell the tale, right?
Exactly. So, and he died doing what he wanted the most. So, but it's cool that the guardsman gets back to tell the story. You know?
Wait, what do you mean
Yeah.
you're dead? Come on, what? No
Yeah.
way.
No, I like my
you
death.
reach zero,
I would
zero
have
wounds,
just
you mean?
loved if before ending the session you did like 10 years in the future and you mentioned like a humble servo skull with tattooed like FL09, you know, like half broken. I would
that'd
have
be
loved
cool,
that. Yeah, like, but yeah.
That was a good session.
So
We
that
had,
is
like,
my headcanon. This is my headcanon. They retrieve half of his skull and turn him into the service skull.
they get in time to patch up the bleeding Abel, and yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, so now this is about the time where the music starts playing. I don't know if you guys can hear it.
I can hear an animation there.
Yeah, it's a mess. But yeah, I think we, like, in a short session we managed to do quite a bit. Yeah, there were some very fun actions.
Yeah,
and the infiltration.
I
Really
think
cool.
I'd be more confident to playing because I kind of got a better hang of the system. I feel more comfortable to play like.
Yeah, we were playing a
another
crunchy system, a difficult crunchy system, like for our first time, and I had a lot of fun. I managed to stay immersed the whole way. I don't know if you guys did as well. Only like little hiccup of like the microphone, but you know, that's
but like I didn't even, to be honest, by the end of the session, I was not even remembering that happened.
Me too. Yeah. I had just remembered now.
We continue and like instantly forgot about it. So, I mean, that speaks volumes, I think.
Yeah,
it was
like I went to my kitchen, like I grabbed like some Coke when I was drinking, like I was doing stuff, but the game resumed instantly in,
Right back in it, yeah. And it was a good point to stop as well. It wasn't like a mid-fight. It was just before you guys did the trenches thing, It was the ad break.
Exactly.
We got a bit lucky with the timing. Yeah, my headphones they just gave out.
That's not a problem.
But it was good we did not left for tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah. That was a fun 4D session. Let's talk about the bad, the ugly. So what did you guys find?
Besides, like I still need to get better in my the way I express. I think I need to be more objective. I take too many breaks during sentences, and I think that slows things down considerably when you add all of them up together. That's on my side. Sorry, just let me.
Yeah. We had to convey a lot of like technical, like mechanic information as well.
Yeah, I feel like that's necessary. You gotta. It's like biological. I need to pee. Like you have to go. You cannot hold it forever. Like so, it's fine. You have to interface with 5 damage, 2 penetration. Like fine. I don't. It's fine to me. But things that I would like to change on myself. I need to get better on pacing the way I speak. And I think it's because I'm trying to consider like the amount of time of what I'm doing and trying to fit in, but I should go for like 2 sentences maximum. I feel like that would be better to train myself towards that. On your side, and I think that's just force of habit. Like you are able to see, you notice, there were like a little few here and there. Not to the point where, not to the point. It was not like I would say it was in the lowest level of the word missing of not threat threat to roleplay, because you have you do is the highest threat. The lowest one would be you notice, so we were like on that low scale.
Yeah,
I still try to police myself, but the you comes out every now and then.
It's I think I do. We still do that sometimes, like I still do that sometimes.
You
I feel
do
like
that?
But
no, I agree. Yeah, I basically am always like policing my my manner of speech, right? And I mean, you can even notice it sometimes. I say, and then I stop myself, and then I reformulate the phrase, right? Instead of saying "you see," I say "before you stand something," right? But it still has the "you," but it's a little bit better.
Yeah, but I'm not the subject, I'm kind of the object of the sentence.
Yeah. That's right. Yeah, that's a good way to visualize it. Yeah, before you, it's the object, not the verb. Yeah.
And I was during the game, and I think maybe for this type of game it's not a problem. Sometimes you would like give a large overview of what was happening or explaining things, and I was thinking, you know what, this is actually good because our level of understanding of 40k is not as big as yours. Like we have like a superficial level of things, so it was helpful in a lot of these situations. The larger description of how things worked or were.
Yeah.
Oh, there's like,
But I think that in this game it fit well, you know.
was it too long? Like the way I described like the base, the way I described like the airships coming and bringing like the paratroopers and stuff. Was it like too long? You think?
No, because because there are many things happening at once. To me, it felt okay, you know, because you're describing like this is happening all at once. It's not like I'm describing only this thing and I'm going to like token levels of, you know, and the leaves were green.
Right. Yeah.
You know.
The difference is, well, I had like a YouTube comment on my mindscaping from a good friend of mine. They said like, oh yeah, you should involve all five senses when describing a scene. And I've read that, and all I'm thinking, well, then you're describing for 3 minutes what's happening to the players, and they don't get to act.
So the players can also add in their own flair, right? I tried to do that sometimes, but I fail because again, like I don't know if that will make much sense for the game. You know?
Yeah, the scenes are a bit more complex as well. That's a good point. The trench scene was like concurrently going with like a trench battle, and there's like a car and the trucks. Yeah, and also the planet I made couldn't be easily described. Like you know, there's water and then there's the algae. You had to. I think I repeated that a few too many times. Honestly, it was a mistake on my part.
I don't think it's a mistake, if I'm honest, because at the first description, I was lost in how to imagine that. You know. So, like hearing it just once, without an anchor point of what to imagine, which is the part of like having shared references for movies or scenes or even just pictures, that those help. But if you just have to explain it once and hope the players get it, it helps with describing it a couple of times, like throughout the scene. Like bring it up again, but from a different angle.
I enjoy you bringing back the description a few times for the same reason. Like every time I was like, okay, yeah, there's the vines. You know, it was getting more clear because it was very alien at first. So in this situation, I think if you kept bringing up like something very mundane that you know in a more
oak tree.
Exactly. Then that's like, but then like it's a tentacle vine that sometimes was moving, sometimes they weren't. Like okay, that's very different. Like I feel like that's worth bringing up again.
I wanted to sneak in that it was like moving towards the sun, right, towards the light, so they could photosynthesize. But I never did that. Yeah, because I didn't want you guys to think it was like a threat. Like, oh, the vines are killing me.
Yeah. At first I thought, but like whatever. Let's just move on. You know.
Yeah, but sure. But at first, their vines.
Can I roll to see if the vine is dangerous? And
I'm just cutting into the vines with whatever excuse of a combat knife I have on me, because I didn't pick a sword, but I'll have a knife, you know.
Yeah. And in my head, I was like, oh, I have an axe, but like, wait, I don't have an axe. So I was constantly fighting that mentality, like I don't have an axe, you know, because I thought about buying it.
Yeah, trying to think of things I hate about you in this game specifically. In this game, I think like the combat scene with the car and the smoke. At some point, I got a bit jumbled around of the locations of everybody, which I think you know that happens, but it's fine to not stop because we kept it cinematic. Like
I didn't want the guys, both of them, to just stay prone shooting, so they charged. I think that was a fun moment that like solidified the scene, right? Because it was a bit vague.
There's things happening. So even if you know we don't know the layout, we know what's happening, which is enough to conduct the scene forward. You get me?
Yes. And I wanted to change my failure. I wanted to describe my failure of missing the engine block, but you described it as hitting and denting it enough that it stalls the engine, and the guy and the driver dropped the smoke grenade, right? So you did a failing forward which would not be possible if we describe our failures all the time. We would just not think about it.
This
Or
is
like
what I
Yeah,
was envisioning.
I didn't even think it in terms of failing forward. I thought of it in terms, oh shit, the car won't get on. I'm open in the field, about to be shot, so I pulled the pin of the grenade to like, retreat. Right, the guy didn't want to die, that's why he did it.
Yeah. I was envisioning something like that. Like, this is the entrance, this is the tumble down engine, and like there's all hell breaking loose around. That's kind of what I envision. Probably nothing like you envision, but my point is, regardless of what we envision, we could still keep it cohesive, even if it was like a little bit
Yeah, the
foggy.
scene went well. Yeah, I
Yeah,
would
yeah.
say.
So that's the thing with not sweating too much about the every detail of the terrain. Like, we
Yes.
get that it's an engine, we get it, like, might be some rubble, like, some maybe even like sand sacks or something. So, and we know there's an entrance right ahead, which that is enough.
And there was like another roll where I was like going through the smoke, and I rolled a failure. I'm not sure what I rolled on, stealth or something.
Stealth, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
And I described stumbling into two guys. It's like I invented those guys. How did you feel about that? Of like,
Awesome, I loved it. What I would do, I was thinking in the moment, right? Oh, what I'm gonna do about his failure? I was thinking that all I'm gonna do is like take a few pot shots from a distance, right? But when you
Yeah.
invented two guys, I was thinking, wait, who would be behind the smoke? And I realized, oh, it's the commanders, right? And that was cool because I think you failed your shot afterwards, but maybe you could kill the commander and it would like route the guys, right? Like
Mhm.
you added a little bit to the scene, and then I added a little bit more, right? I built on top of
Yeah,
what you.
it was
Right?
cool.
Yes.
I enjoyed that.
That
It
was
was
really
a
cool.
cool way to.
But they ran away past FL09, and you completely ignored it, FL09, which I was like,
It's because
okay.
I was like hidden in the smoke, and I
Yes.
thought like, okay, what is most optimal? Like getting two guys or managing to distract pretty much everyone. So
Yeah.
I'm gonna
I'm not.
you know
Go ahead.
oh yeah, so I'm gonna blow the engine, which by the way it's not heretical because like in my mind I was freeing the spirit from being malused, like it doesn't want to be used for heretical means. So the key I cannot fix
I
you,
like
so I
that.
will relieve you, and in the way serve a higher purpose, which is saving the manufactured planet.
Yeah, and I like how you, Zonar, described the doors as closing. Because in my mind, they weren't closing, but the moment
Yeah,
you describe it, the doors closed. I'm like, okay, the doors are closed. Zero questions,
yeah,
right? And that
same.
was
I
cool.
was like, come on, Zonar, I was right in front of it.
Yeah, and I like how the closed doors led to like a different like cool scene, right? With the plasma grenade, I love that. I
That
like
was a
how
cool
FL09 kept telling you just use the grenade, but I like how Uznalar understood that such a heavy door made to survive a nuclear blast wouldn't be melted by a plasma grenade. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I think that in the end that was a little bit of like failing forward, right?
I was
described like
trying
the
to
vents shooting off
Yeah.
think of like, I will not 4D a plasma grenade going through a bunker after you described it, like how thick and heavy it is. So
Yeah.
I
So I
needed
was
like a weak
thinking,
point to attach it to.
yeah. I was a bit lost, so I left it all for you because I was like, I don't know how much it can really help. So, but you were smart. So.
Yeah, I was shooting it with the last gun, right? And that's how we gauged, like, okay, this is pointless shooting it. It will take weeks for last gun to shoot through.
Yeah.
Like, I literally don't have enough magazines for that.
I remember another point here. When you asked, like, you were like, oh, I'm trying to see if he's like engine C or something. I was like, I was looking at my character sheet, like, dang, I did not write exactly my rank. So I don't want to say anything that's stupid, but by the end it's like, yeah, well, all right, it's engine C or whatever.
Right, yes, I was fishing for that. Like, what?
Yeah, I got that. I just didn't give you because I did not have the fish.
I forget that, like, Tech Priest is like the shorthand a lot of people use, right? I just had engines here in mind, so that's what I'm
actually
saying.
like engine seer is a rank below tech priest. Like an engine seer
okay.
like, trains to become a tech priest. Yeah,
I see. So I guess it.
But it doesn't really matter that much. I think it was cool the way it was done.
It's one of those Warhammer 40k nerd talk things, like, Oh my god, he totally used the wrong rank for your
Exactly.
character. Like,
Yeah.
makes no
Yeah.
I
sense.
can't believe that them people use the long rank from a depth mechanic.
Yeah.
Why would an ancient seer take command from a commander instead of a tech priest? Makes no sense.
Exactly. And that was cool. Yeah, there's a lot of cool little moments when we had like more interaction with other NPC, especially at the beginning. He says something about the emperor, and the general is like,
Yeah.
yeah,
picked
the
up on that,
Messiah. Yeah.
That was also a bit of like feeling out, like, I'm establishing that as an imperial guard, I kind of, that's the indoctrination part. I have to worship the
Mhm.
emperor, the god emperor, right? So if I say Omnisire, it's like I'm casting a vote, so to say. If I do that, like I don't know how heretical it goes.
I'm afraid to speak. You know what? You were role
Yes.
playing well. You're
I
afraid to
cannot speak. If I speak, I'm in big trouble.
Yeah, I think that if you were going for something like less focused on the action, these characters were had a lot of propensity for fun roleplay. Yeah, I like the little bit of tension. I like the mention of the God Emperor instead of the Omnissiah, and like
Yeah.
the God Emperor is the Omnissiah, right? Wink, wink, nudge,
Yeah,
nudge.
exactly. Yeah, I got that. I had that. It was a cool moment, that one.
I cannot speak. If I speak, I'm in big trouble.
Exactly. I like that. Exactly.
Whatever,
It was a really cool moment.
Also, I just called him
Yeah.
commander. I forgot what his fucking rank was. So I was like,
Yeah.
he's
me too.
commanding me. He's the commander.
I know he's
Shorthand.
higher up, but they don't
Yes.
register the name of the thing.
Exactly.
That was in character, in my opinion. Yeah, like why would the Master Military guy know, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it makes sense. It's sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. No, sir. Please
That's
slap
what you
me
need to
again,
know.
sir. Yeah. At least he didn't shoot me on the spot for saying the wrong word. Or, classic.
Yeah.
The next guy comes in. Specialist unable. It's your turn.
Yeah.
We basically like made up the universe on the spot because I didn't have in mind what it would be that you guys would find. I was like feeling it around, right, a bit.
Ooh.
I didn't even know like what kind of enemies you guys were fighting. I think I described the
cool.
flying things at first as if they were like drones, but then he rolled like binoculars. Like what kind of cool like 40K alien can I put there? And I like the best bit like mercenaries because it hints a little bit more.
It added like a level of there's more going on here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And go ahead.
I mean, yeah, for me it was just trying to figure out, okay, we are approaching danger. I have the binoculars, so let's use them, Like there's this thing, I don't know what it is. Let's find out.
Yeah. There was one point there with the binoculars that I was like, I don't want to shorthand everything to implants because I did not buy, because I knew there were like visual implants for, vision augmentation. So like, I have to use the thing,
Yeah.
I didn't want to shorthand everything.
Oh yeah, I like that.
I did go in with the idea that I would effortlessly like describe like every modifier to the rolls, but it got really difficult to keep up with because I was thinking, okay, if I tell them it is a +10, will they realize that the +10 is from the binoculars? So like they will like double dip on the bonus, I was like thinking about that, and I do think that every now and then like I missed a modifier that I should have said, but we just keep going from that point on.
Yeah,
I think that we use
it's fine.
well enough. It's a cumbersome system, let me tell you.
There might have been some double dipping. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but it's okay because I think in the end the story we told was very cool. I like that.
Yeah.
The rules don't stand in the way of the story.
Exactly. I told you I will not be subjugated by dice when I'm playing.
That's Heretec, fellow 9.
Yeah.
They obey to me, not the other way around.
The rules exist for a reason. You have to obey.
Yeah. I was still trying to decide what it would be like inside the bunker, right? But I like the idea of like tying it to Mechanicus, which is why I added some like abominable intelligence. I like how you picked up on the clues without me needing to like spell it out, right?
I
That's
was
pretty
like, it's either a Necron, but I thought it makes no sense to be a single Necron here. Like, so it has to be AI. Like, and I was waiting, like, for the word green. It didn't come out. Like, okay, safe.
It's a monster energy flavored robot. There we go.
Yeah. They're like, oh no. Because that's, I guess, a little bit of knowledge helps, but I imagine, oh, I think it's AI. Even if it's
I
not,
mean,
it's fine, you know? He thinks it is, which for him is enough.
Yeah, I was absolutely clueless. Like a 4-meter tall metal man. I was thinking like, well, this could be like some kind of space marine, but with a weird description that you're giving us. You know, you're not telling us it's a space marine when we see a space marine.
Yeah.
So that's like where my first thought was.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, is it actually a dwarf? One of those dwarfs from
Yeah.
the
But he's gotta be a small,
Vulcans?
right?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they are all small. So I'm like, why would they be 4 meters tall? So I was just like clueless and said,
Yeah.
I mean, you said like you're not talking like for whole rounds, so you have to report
because he
back
was
before
in
we attack.
catatonic shock. Like, he was
Yeah.
processing what he was seeing, you know? Because it's the same as seeing a demon for him.
Yeah, that does not compute, right? Like, you
Yeah.
Did you like the touch where like the machine was pretending to be like very technical, and then as soon as it started like actually wounding it, it like broke script, and began like speaking to you as
I
if
did
you
not
were
catch
human.
that in actual. I don't think I fully caught that. I noticed there was like a shift, but I don't think I realized was that, you know?
Yeah, in the moment
Now
I
that you're
did not
mentioning,
catch
yeah, it
that.
makes sense. But it was cool overall. Like, the scene felt good. I did. I only regret like not bantering more with it, but I was trying to keep it fast because I don't want to be like back and forth. So on my round, I will banter and I will shoot, and that's my round. So I kept going around. When it's back to me, I will reply to whatever he said. So, you know, but if in another situation, I would have bantered more with it.
In
for
my
me,
head, that was a very cool
yeah.
scene. You go first.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, my whole point was, well, I'm not even sure if I'm gonna live. So I'm pulling down the trigger until he dies or until I realize that it's a fruitless endeavor altogether and I should run away. Which I was about to do, but luckily I killed my servitor in one hit. So I was like, okay, let me go back and take another.
Good shot.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought it was cool because this is the second game where I just like ignore my companions in the midst of battle, but that's cool because like they know what's going on, you know. It's not like, come on, man, why did you shoot the other servitor? You
know? As much as like it was able, like dealing the actual damage, the thing was entirely enraptured by you, right? So it was very cool, like to imagine you like running around and like bantering back and forth, and able just like from behind with like the long las.
Yeah. So
awesome stuff.
That was a challenge for me as well because I was trying to be like, okay, I'm gonna be very materialistic in the way I think, you know, like the end results are what matter. And I was trying to think like that. So I thought like I don't need to express what I'm doing as long as I confront the thing and I kill it. If Abel has the time to do help help, he will. And kind of it's what happened, you know. So it was cool. It's cool to try and be very machine thinking.
I was close to running away, you know, like, okay, I'm out of here. Okay, he's dead. Fuck. Maybe I just run out. I kind of wanted to be like, we have to leave engines here. You need your brothers. We can don't fight them without your tech priest type deal.
But in the end, that was really cool. Yeah, like the final confrontation, and I tried to like to evoke like the moment where like it drops its mask as being like a literal mask off moment.
Yeah,
like I am a godly AI being, and I'm here to devour you.
I was about to banter some like scripture like stuff, but like it was not appropriate to the moment because, you know, so much was happening, and I kept quiet.
Yeah.
You held back your roleplay. No.
Yeah. No, I did it because it would. I think it would like make the scene longer for something that was too fast.
Yeah.
You know.
Okay, so if we reduce we ended at like 2 hours 8 minutes, right? If we remove like the 15 kind of minute break that we took, that was like less than 2 hours, and we had like a lot of scenes. I think it was pretty fast
Yes.
paced.
It was.
It was
It
it
was
was really good.
nearly things happen very close to real time. You know, mine is the traveling, which of course we're not gonna role play. I take a step, you know, like I jump over the vine.
You
But
step on the water, it splashes.
Not in
Next
this
step.
game.
and that is
Only
with
in my
this
D&D
system.
game we do that.
Yeah. And that's with this system that, you know, each shot takes a bit of time because, you know, oh, I'm seeing where it hits, I'm seeing how much it's absorbing and everything. So I'm very impressed that we managed to do what we did today.
It was a fun. Yeah, I like that. The only thing I would change, some of my descriptions included like phrasing that is anti RPG detected.
Heresy.
But yeah, what else would I change? I don't think I would change much more besides that.
Yeah.
You guys played very well. I was very immersed with seeing your adventure within my mind's eye. That was really cool. I did. Oh yeah, I did fuck up at the start, right? But I think I could have described it better. I didn't want to linger too long in the base, though. I wanted like to move on. I think I did a little bit of like pushing you guys forward. Like, no, get the bike and keep going, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was a little bit of DM fiat. I think that was negative, right?
I didn't feel that way because in my
Really?
head I also wanted to get done with that initial part as quickly as possible.
Yeah, we had the moment of Fellow 9 asking if I'm ready, you know. I've said, yeah, I'm always prepared to mobilize on a moment's notice. So I don't need to go ask the commissioner for, hey, can you spare me some grenades and the medikits? I was like, nah, I don't need that. I don't need details.
Yeah.
Soldier, you're already using spared air right now. Move on. You know, like,
I loved all of the moments you guys stepped into 4D. It could
I
even
think
be
I
done
did
more.
much, right? Like,
Zonal R4D a little bit more. Yeah, like he made the concrete wall. No, but that's a good thing.
People, no, yeah.
The more you introduce the setting, like the more I'm like trying to build up on what you guys introduced as well, right? Which is the example of you described two guys and I made them the officers, right? That was pretty cool. That was a cool scene.
You made you made the guys flying down, right? And they're pointing their guns at me because I'm obviously one of the rebels, so I'm just signaling my platoon number at them. And I have no idea if they know which platoon I'm from.
Should have done like the Aquila.
Yeah, we just ask each other 224. Which platoon is that? I have no idea. It's like, okay, let's shoot him.
Sounds imperial enough. You know?
In that moment, I was thinking of what those guys would be thinking. And for them, just not being shot by you was like enough of a signal. Yep, I'm not gonna worry about this guy. There's another people shooting me from there. I'm not gonna worry about that.
Yeah.
I was like,
go ahead.
I feel like when I asked for the divergence strike, I was like, I think I'm pushing too much here. I don't know if they have the resources for that, you know, but like
that's a good point. Your that was your 4D and it was really good. Yeah, I like that because otherwise how would you
throwing you a bone, you know, like, hey, I want 4D this, but I'll let you decide how, you know, because I don't want to just manifest a bomb.
I like that because in a way he can say no, he can say yes, but if it's up in the air, you can also roll a fellowship at that moment, you know. And that's what that skill would be used for, no?
In that moment, I thought back of when the commander told you, well, you have all the resources from this base available, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking. So yeah, they would, yeah.
Oh, I didn't even consider what resources we get. I'm just like, I got 2 guns and I got a bike. That's what I'm using.
But that's good. That's what you needed. It wasn't very intrusive, I think is the best way to put it, right?
Yeah.
I thought it was ironic as well that I was like inspecting his armor. I was like, this armor is crap. He ended up saving him at the end of the.
It did, yeah. And you were wearing like robes, right? Like, oh wow, like.
Yeah, I'm wearing robes. That's all I need.
I have calling the kettle black, yeah.
Yeah.
They're holy robes, clearly.
Exactly. I guess it is compared to what would be the desirable standard, you know. It was like low his armor, but It's
No.
still better than nothing.
But that was a good moment because it displayed that, when you're looking outside in without immersion, mechanically these robes have less armor. But in character, right, those are like the holy symbols of what a priest of Mars would carry, right?
Yeah,
It makes
and it
sense.
helps morale as well. But like he was not very afraid, so I feel like it fits. I did like a little moment when because the guy was prone down, right, and then you decided to shoot him, and that was an actual thought I had, like, why he's not saving ammo? why not, like, because you mentioned having like a knife or something.
Yeah.
So that was me, and but I think FL9 would notice that as well. Would chastise him on conserving resources.
I mean, in my head, I'm never gonna
Take the
have
risk.
this knife actually penetrate his, skull, neck, chest, or anything. If I tried, then he will tussle with me. So if I can have my boot on his chest and like spray down, I can take him out immediately. So how do I waste as little time as possible? Not how do I save as much ammo as possible? I mean, in retrospect, I can also say I wasn't thinking that, but hey, you get ammo, you use ammo until you have no ammo, then you get more ammo. You just solve problems with raw firepower.
Where do ammo come from? I don't know. The servitor just bring them to me.
Yes.
Yeah. I did commit one lore mistake. I think I described the Vespids as having like 6 segments, like 2 back legs and 2 front arms, right? And then I saw the image as Zonar posted. Oh crap! I misremembered.
Yeah, no, Zonar had no business showing up that picture. We must chastise him.
I can just make up all their Vespids of the Alpha Dura hide.
Yeah, the bread
hide.
for the
or
this
whatever,
one specific
right?
bread thing.
I've ruined immersion.